Welcome to CyberCEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. CyberCEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. All right, another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of CyberCEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show right now. Jonathan, how are you doing today?
I'm living the dream, doing well. Yourself?
Doing wonderful. Thank you very much for asking. And to let you know, we have a lot of listeners who are also business owners just like you. So I need your help here. Can you introduce yourself to our audience, maybe starting off with, what is your role in the business, Jonathan?
Yeah, my name's Jonathan. I have a local real estate business. I'm a realtor, CEO, head of my team for the Keller Williams agents out there. It's a fourth level team, which just essentially means that I have a cyberbacker who's my assistant and then also a showing agent as well. And yeah, I'm the lead person going out and closing deals. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how long have you been doing this? Real estate?
5 years.
5 years. Okay, a lot of experience right there. Now, I'm also curious to know, how about being partnered with Cyberbacker? For how long now?
I want to say about a year.
About a year. Now, did you ever have experience working with someone virtually before Cyberbacker?
Not to this capacity. You know, I had projects and things that I would do, but not like a full-time position. No.
Okay. So I'm curious to know, how was the transition? Of course, getting used to working with someone virtually now to before working with someone who's physically in the office, things like that.
I mean, I'm completely comfortable with it. I mean, we just went through COVID, you know, so it's like, it was fine. I mean, I sold houses and didn't even meet my clients this last year. So working with someone virtually is everything. To be able to do that and not meet the people, everything's in the cloud. Everything is set up. It was simple for me.
Simple and convenient, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, I'm also curious to know, since this is your first time working with someone technically virtually and to this extent, how did you find Cyberbacker? How did you find out about us?
Referral. There's a couple of agents in my office that use Cyberbacker, and so I just went with it.
Okay, so I hope you heard good things.
Yeah, well, if I didn't, I wouldn't be here.
All right. Now, I'd like to know as well your thoughts on this. Of course, let's compare it to the first time you heard the word Cyberbacker to now, going on your first year with your Cyberbacker. What comes to your mind?
Well, the first word that my brain gives me is partnership. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's a true partnership. You know, as I continue to expand, you know, from that level 4 part 1 team, you know, there's going to be an ISA aspect to it, you know, and if you follow any of the Keller Williams teachings, you know, what is it called? It's the career visioning.
Yes.
You can go through that on your own, you know, go through the 100 applicants and interview to find the one, or you can outsource it to somebody because talent's born all over the world and you can get someone excellent the first shot. So
that's where Cyberbacker comes in, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, of course, before you got partnered with your current Cyberbacker, Megan, you had to create somewhat of a give-up list, a set of tasks that you were going to be leveraging to your Cyberbacker. So what was this list that you created?
Heavily transaction coordination, because I can't emphasize enough my disdain of paperwork. So that was big for me. Then social media. I wanted someone to be doing posting and doing content creation for me. And then also database management. It was really, if it didn't require me to speak to somebody, I wanted to figure out how I could just outsource it. So that was kind of my list.
So anything that can be done virtually, anything that you can hand off that they could do, that's it.
Exactly.
All right. Now, I'm also curious to know, has that list changed? Right now, is it still the same thing that she's doing, or has her role evolved?
She's grown into the list. So we've, as talented as the people that you get, there's still a learning curve, and you still need to work together to grow together, right? It's still, we do a lot as realtors, and there's a lot of systems, and we all have our own systems within those systems. So yes, it has evolved. And it went from, you know, they have this thing in Keller Williams, that I do it, we do it, they do it model, right? So it very much is that way. You know, you we do it together. And then now we're at the point where I asked Megan the other day, it's like, how can we make your checklists improve my relationship building skills? So now she's creating the systems to make the team better. So we're at the you do it stage now.
I think that's the most important thing. Again, just letting her grow into the role as well. And probably there could be more things that she could do, probably, let's say, more time together, more years in the partnership, right?
Yeah. No, yes. I mean, it's only going to continue to evolve, yes. And as the business evolves, once we have a showing assistant, we're trying to, we're in the we do it phase of that relationship. So we're trying to figure out how we can leverage, Megan with working with our showing assistant to, like, I told Megan, the goal is we get a buyer and I say to the showing assistant, let me know when I'm writing a contract. Like, that's the distance I want to have from the showing part of that process, so that role is evolving there with that relationship. And then when we get an ISA, it's going to be a whole nother evolution as well, so.
Definitely. Now, I'm also curious to know, because before you got partnered with your Cyberbacker, right, you went through a hiring phase, a hiring process with us. So I'd like to know your experience there, and how did you know that Megan was the perfect fit for you in the business?
So my experience with the process was, I mean, I kind of went along for the ride. You know what I mean? Like, I trusted the process. I trusted that you knew what you were doing. And I know that your CEO is a Keller Williams agent. Yes. And he did career visioning. He did all these trainings, and I understand what's involved with that. And I know he embedded that into Cyberbacker. So I trusted the process. And when it came down to, what is it, the final 3 or final 5? I can't remember how many we interview with. Is it 3 or 4? Well, no, the first call is like, hey, Jonathan, meet all the people that we're interviewing. And I'm on Zoom and there's like 100 people there. And then, but I didn't directly interview any of those people. It comes down to a top 3. Is that right?
Top 3 to top 5.
3 to 5. Yeah. So when it came to that point, honestly, I trusted more. My decision really came down to her video and the information that I had prior to actually meeting her. Because, really the question I was asking myself, is she consistent with what I'm seeing on paper and hearing in her video? And then how does that stack up with the other applicants? And then that's kind of how I built out my decision-making process, my selection.
And now you're going on your first year with Megan, right?
Yep, correct.
In that partnership. Now, after that, Megan went through the training with us here in Cyberbacker. So I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Did that save any time for you at all, the training that we provided?
Yeah, it did. She was proficient in navigating the tools. She had an understanding of contracts and the process of real estate. So we really were able to start the training at, this is the way we do it in Connecticut, and this is the way that I work.
Yes.
This is how I use these tools. So you're kind of like high level, but not every agent uses DocuSign the same way, for instance, and organizes it the same way. Every market center is different.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I was focusing the training on.
Of course. Again, the little bits, of course, some things to improve, some things on how you do them. Because again, as what you mentioned, market centers have really different, not really styles, but things on their checklist, something like that, right?
Yeah, yes. Exactly. Precisely. Yep.
Now, I can already feel that the partnership that you have with Megan has been a successful partnership. Now, a lot of our listeners might not know how to build a successful virtual partnership with their Cyberbacker. So I'd like to know your thoughts on this. How did this become a successful partnership between the two of you?
So high-level communication. I mean, I talk to Megan all day long. We have a WhatsApp chat that we have running all the time. And then also I use Follow Up Boss, and I have her own administrative account with her. So I can set tasks under contacts, and then she'll get an email and a notification in the app that she has a new task. And then oftentimes if she has questions, so I'll set a task, and then she'll go over to WhatsApp and ask me questions about what I just assigned to her, and we have, much like on Twitter or Facebook where you use the @ symbol, to tag someone.
Yes.
So when I'm writing a note, I can tag her in a note and follow up boss. So, and it's organized by contact. So it's just this constant, the simplest way to say it is the more connections you can make in communication with a virtual person, the more successful that you will be. So the tagging in notes, coupled with the reminder, task notifications, and follow-up boss, coupled with Zoom and WhatsApp. So just the more you can increase those connections, those lines, it's like she's in the room with me. So
yes, just like the only difference is sometimes she feels like she's in the room. The only difference is mainly she's on your screen, not physically there, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that I would have had, I don't know that I would have a better result with an in-person assistant. Certainly not for the dollar for dollar cost. The only thing that I see that would really be differently is people coming into the office and creating an experience in the office. That's the only thing that we can't really recreate virtually. But everything else, she calls my clients, she checks in with them, she gives them updates. We're going through the listing. We get a property under contract, and then from that date, you kind of lose contact. It's just like, all right, we've got it where our job is done. Now everybody else needs to do their job. I'll talk to you when the inspection report comes in, but she sends out an email every Friday to give them updates, even if the update is that there is no update. If there's questions that come in, she'll actually get on the phone and call them and be like, hey, I saw that you had some questions. You're emailing back and forth. This is something that I'll be able to handle for you. Let me get that document to you. Let me get that update to you, or if she's having the conversation, follow-up boss has the ability to do a live transfer. So she's in the call, you know what? That's really a conversation for Jonathan. Let me transfer you now, so.
There. So really, as what you've already been talking about, the things that she's been doing, things that she's been helping you with, it seems like she's almost everywhere in the business then.
Yeah. She's a true assistant. She's not a transaction coordinator. She's not, to simplify, I don't mean to, some people might see this as offensive. Like if you look at her as a tool, right? She's not a simple flip blade, like she's a Swiss Army knife with multiple things in it. And as the role, but only if you could, as the business developed, you're able to add new blades or new tools into that Swiss Army knife, like that is, she's a human being. It's not just, yes, of course she can, yeah.
I like the comparison, like a Swiss Army knife. It's like she can do a lot of things, not just cut. A lot of things.
She's a generalist, not a specialist.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to know more about your relationship with Megan. So I'm going to put you in the hot seat here. This is my last question, by the way. So what is the best part about your Cyberbacker, Megan?
The best part, she just has she has a genuine desire to, well, first of all, she really, really cares, you can't really teach that. And she has a genuine desire. She's a genuine inquisitive nature about her. So she's always wanting to learn. She takes it upon herself, internal initiative to, if there's a question about follow-up boss or something, like she'll call technical support. She'll reach out to, anything, like if there's anything that comes up, she's right there, eager to help, willing to do whatever she needs to do, and tries to catch it before I do.
Oh, so really, let's say she thinks in advance, something like that.
Yeah, she leads with it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, Jonathan,
she doesn't need to be managed.
There you
that's
go.
It. Yeah.
So she's very headstrong, doesn't really need to be managed all the time.
No, it's a partnership, more of a partnership than anything else.
There we go. Now, Jonathan, we are very excited to see where this partnership is going to lead to in more years to come. And of course, we really appreciate you being here. I hope this isn't the last time.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of CyberCEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.